Guys, Dricus du Plessis is defending against Khamzat Chimaev at this weekend, and I'll tell you, there's no better way to turn up that excitement than with my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, new customers who bet just $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Stay in on the action. Use your bonus bets in same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Love the thrill of live betting? Because DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on in-progress games right as they happen. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports and have a shot at cash prizes. This is your chance to get in on the action. Download the DraftKings app. When you sign up, use my code Sonnen. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Dricus and Chimaev come face to face. You guys see this video? I'm quite certain this was the hotel. I had a feeling that it was even hotel lobby. If I've got my location wrong, it's something along these lines where these two would, and it was Chimaev that spotted Dricus and that went over and greeted him. Hello, brother. Shook his hand. And Dricus was a real gentleman back. And there's a little bit of tricky camera work here. It might be hard for me to explain to you, but the way the camera was coming up from the angle it was and being behind Chimaev, it made Chimaev look massive compared to Dricus. And if you watched it, and that's a big talk fight week, who's bigger? I've never really understood the talk because, well, like in the heavyweight class, they never do it. You'll never hear this heavyweight is so much bigger than this heavyweight. Never. And that's the only class where one is actually heavier at times. 40 pounds. That's a meaningful amount of weight. Tyson Fury will have 40 pounds on his opponent. It will never be spoke about. You get two guys, in this case, that are both going to weigh in at 185. They're going to struggle, and it's not going to be easy to get there, but they're both going to weigh 185. And then you have the audience offering an opinion on who is bigger. There's no way to get around to this, but I'm only sharing for you. The comments did come out after these two had their interaction, and it was a big deal about how much larger Chimaev looked, and I'm here to let you know he's not in danger of not making weight. He was not some massive guy. He weighs what Dricus weighs, which is about 193 pounds. And by the time the scale comes around, they're both going to draw down to 185 pounds. They will then rehydrate somewhere around the 97-200 mark. But the dialogue of who is bigger, and I have proof, look, it's right there, as they say hello. I'm just here to share with you is not quite the starter that you think it is. And when they came out of there, right, it's not just you that judges who's bigger than who. The fighters do it too. Very odd, considering we're going to get a scale to show what we weigh. Oh, and by the way, ahead of time, we both know it's going to be the exact same thing of 185. But they still have this discussion, and Dricus had it. Dricus said, man, there's no way he's bigger than I am. That was Dricus' one takeaway when they came face to face. There's no way he's bigger than I am. And there's talk of Dricus being a triple champion. But dropping to welterweight is not in the plans. There is talk that Dricus is big enough to go to 205, capture the belt, and go to heavyweight and capture the belt. And a supporter of Dricus and how great he is and the span that he can cover is none other than Tom Aspinall. So I'm only sharing with you that if a guy is looking at champ status to the point that he's got Tom Aspinall backing up the idea, he must be pretty big. I've never known that about Dricus. He used to fight at 170, in fact. I have video of him fighting at 170. So, 205 is in his mind somewhere. Heavyweight is in the radar. He must be pretty big. What difference does it make if you go to weigh in at 185? So, another thing that I got from their meeting, I have been very excited for the press conference. Like, Dricus is vicious and mean at a press conference. He's flat mean. He's looking for a certain reaction, the way that he's going to handle himself, but I don't know that he's going to do that with Chimaev. After I saw them meet for the first time, once this guy says hello to you and you shake his hand, you look him in the eye, whatever plans that you had to rough him up a little bit, they get diminished some. It'd be best if the fighters were at different hotels. It would be best if these kind of interactions did not happen. But I'm just sharing for you that I don't know how confident I am that Dricus has a couple of aces up his sleeves and he's going to pull them out as a way of mental warfare against Chimaev. I don't know how much I believe that anymore. And it would bother me. I would question it. And the reason it would bother me and the reason that I would question it is certain guys do certain things. It's a pattern. And when you have success as an athlete, one of the things you need to do with yourself from a sports psychology standpoint is identify, what did I do leading up to this event? The event that went so well, the event where I was so happy with my performance, what did I do? And you want to remember as many of those things as you can, not just from training camp all the way to the day of. What sounds? Who did I talk to? What music did I hear? What did I eat? What was my dinner the night before? Like as many things as you can identify, and then you want to do your best to copy them. And I only share with you, if Dricus goes to a press conference and is nice and is polite and is complimentary of his opponent, those are all things that he didn't do in the past. So as you're trying to check the list of what made this past performance so great, that will not be able to be executed. Listen, Adesanya went down to Sean Strickland. And it wasn't the outcome, it was the performance. He underperformed. But Adesanya's got to want to fight a guy. Adesanya's got to have an energy and an anger towards a guy. And Adesanya did have it. It was towards Dricus. It was never towards Sean. Dricus pulls out, Sean goes in. Izzy couldn't wrap his head around that. Izzy's motivation and his fight and his opponent, as he saw it, is no longer in front of him. So what would it mean if Dricus kept those bullets chambered? What would it mean if he doesn't fire them? And there's other ways to do it. Dricus has had to do it before. Dricus has been at press conferences before where he didn't address the opponent, he addressed somebody else at the press conference. If you guys recall, when Dricus got into it with Sean Strickland, which ultimately 2 days later led into a fist fight, Dricus was not at that press conference because he was fighting Sean Strickland. Dricus was out there to promote somebody else. Strickland was up there to promote somebody else, but he was up there and Dricus threw it towards him, got himself in that right mindset, got that negative stuff out, got the corpse and the headlines and the chirps and got you guys going, and that's what he set out to do, and everything was cool in the gang. So if Dricus doesn't fire those bullets at Chimaev, will he fire them at somebody else? That's all that we're here to see. But if he doesn't fire to anybody at all, that will be a very clear sign that on his approach to this fight, he is not following the same approaches that led him to other fights. And could it impact the outcome? Yes. Yes, it is that important. If you have a system and you have things that you do that puts you in the mindset to fight, and you get thrown off of that, right? You got to understand, Chimaev did not walk up to him and do it because that's the code of our sport. Chimaev did not walk over to him and say, hello, my brother, and shake his hand to be nice. He did it very strategically as a way of perhaps disarming DDP. Chimaev walked over and said hello and introduced himself to help himself. And when we get to the press conference and we listen to Dricus, that's when we're going to find out if that worked.